Hello, welcome back. In this next video, we'll be looking at how to use expression web to insert table and specify table and set properties. I will quickly show you that. Okay, so what you need to do, for example, let me just use one of these questions that I have here. Okay, let's use this for example. If you look at this, we have how many columns and how many rows. For example, that's the first thing you need to figure out. The question won't tell you, you'll be the one to figure that out. So if you look at this, like I do say, let's say we have this filled up. We have, okay, let me reduce this so that you can see what I'm saying. Let's say we have this and this and this and this filled up. Okay, now you can see it clearly. So it is clear that you have two columns. This is one column, this is another column, making two columns. And you have how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 rows and 2 columns. So that's the first thing you need to figure out. So what do? You place your cursor within the body. Okay, you can make use of that. You can come here and use this. Insert table. Okay, we have 2 columns and then 5 rows, right? So you could do that. This is 2 columns and 5 rows. Okay, so you could do that. You could also come to table, insert table, and do that. Okay, but let's see the difference. Okay, I'll come here, insert 2 columns, 5 rows. I have this. You can see the code generated. If I come to design tab, you can see we have the 2 columns and the 5 rows. Now the next thing is how to insert table and specify table and set properties. If you look at what I just did, I had not specified the table property. And if I want to do, let's say as I've done it, I can just come back to the table, right click on it and say maybe table property. Okay, you can go and do the property from the table. Okay, let's see this. There are 2 ways I can select the entire table and then right click and say table properties, because I skipped it at the other time. So what are the properties you can set? Now if you look at the question given to us here, they told us that this web page must be created using a single table and work in all browsers. The table must fit 75% of the browser window. By default it will be 100%. So if the unit given to us is in percentage, you click percentage. If it was in pixels, you click pixels. You understand? So this is the width, specify width. Okay, in percentage they say 75%, so you have to put 75% in percent. That's what they said about the width. They didn't give us anything about the height, so you might not need to do anything with that. Okay, so then I will say apply and say okay. You can see that. So instead of it filling the entire screen, it's now filling what, 75% of the screen. Then another thing they said that I want to pay attention to, you see that this cell and this cell were merged together and it was labeled A. So how do you do that? So you can just click this and select it with this cell, right click on it, then you go to cell properties. Now you are talking about the cell properties and you can merge. Do you understand? You can merge the cell. So but before I do that, let's first of all merge. Select the 2 and come to modify and merge cells. Okay, so the 2 cells have been merged together to become 1. So and I've labeled it A. Okay, then these other 3 cells were merged, so let me go merge it and label it B. This to this, right click, modify, and I call merge and I call it B. Okay, then the next one, C, D and E. Okay, so this will be C, D and E. Okay, then the next one is F. So these 2 cells were merged together, then I'm going to merge it and I call it F. Modify, merge and call it F. Oh, there was a mistake here. This should be D, this should be E. Okay, so A, B, C, D, E, F. So we have done that. So you can see what I'm saying. Now one of the things I used to say is that if they ask you to modify only this particular cell alone, just right click and go to that cell property. So you can see a lot of things. If you want that particular cell to be in a percentage and you want to make it 100% or 56 or whatever, you can do to only that for the width. And if you want to do the height, modify cell property, the height, you want to make it 100%, or that is in percentage, you keep percent, or make 100%, you just pick it, apply, and do that, something like that. So depending on whatever they ask you, you can do that. So if you come here, you will see that I've shown you how you can insert table and specify table and cell properties. Do you get it? One other thing I want you to take note is that everything we have done here, if you go to the code view, you will see them here. You can see for the table, the style, this is how to put style in a table, 75%, and that's what we did there. Then if you want to put the border line, you can also do that within the table. That is easy. So you go to the design view, they tell you select the entire table and right click and say table property, and if they say, oh, it should have a border of 1, okay, so that it can show, say apply and say okay. If you go to the code view, you will see that it has the border 1 instead of it showing 1. That is why it's because you are using auto, that's why it's showing you in class. But if I don't want to use this as an auto style, I can just come here and say table, edit it and say space B, space S, maybe style I'll pick, or I'll just say border space B, and I'll say border width should be 1 pixel or 2 pixels as the case may be. You can see that. So whatever you want to do based on the question, just follow the question through. So that is quite simple, right? That's quite simple. So I have done that with that. Okay, then what other thing have I highlighted here? How to merge 2 or more cells together. Now let's go to how to insert tables. Not just insert the table and add alternate text to the table, to the images. Okay, that's the next thing I want to look at now. So I've shown you how to apply styles to a table, and that's what we did here. You can confirm that the moment you click the table and you apply style, you can see. If you still have other things to apply to the style, you can just come here and say space. You can do alignment, you want to align center, you can do that. Background color to the table, you can do that, and so on and so forth. So that is very simple. So the next thing, like, look at the width and height I did for the particular cell B, and that's what we have here for this particular cell C, rather for cell C the other time. So that's what I have there. So if I want to look at what's next, how to insert images and add alternate text, that's also simple. Now you now see the benefit of having opening what we call the site. Now let's say I want to put images. Let me go to design view. Let's say I want to put a particular image here for B, right? So let's say I want to put okay, don't let me put image here, let me put the video here. Let me put one image here under C. I'll just delete the C. You can see that. Let's say I want to put this particular ostrich. I'll just drag it and drop it in C. Then this prompt will ask me, what do I want to make as the alternate text? Always add the alternate text. So let me call it ostrich image. Ostrich image. Okay, and I will say okay. The ostrich is there. Let's say I want to put another image here for E. I could say, I drag it. That's the benefit of having this folder. It's the same thing as me coming here. I'm going to insert picture from file, and I will need to be doing that, but then I can just drag it. So let me put flower and butterfly image here. Let me call it flower and butterfly. Okay, and I will say okay. Can you see I have that here? So that is quite simple. If I save this, if I go to the code view, you will see all those things I've added with their inherited height and their inherited width. Okay, So if I want to resize it such that it should have a default, it should fill in the cell. Okay, I can now just do that within this place. Now let me save first and preview what I've done so far. Preview in a browser. Now I do tell candidates, you don't preview in design view. Design view is not for preview. If you want to preview, you preview in a browser. So come to the browser and preview. You can see what I have now. You can see that. So this is in a browser. You can see how it looks. Okay, good. Let me continue with what I'm doing. So then I've shown you how to insert images and add alternate text. Let me talk about how you can edit images within the code. So for example, if you want to edit this image now, you could right click on it and say modify. You can do auto fit content and all that, but that might not be the best. So if you go to picture properties, you can see what you can do there. Picture property, you can see that you can set it to the left, to the right. You want to specify the width, you understand, and maintain aspect ratio. Let's say they ask us that the image should fit 100% of the width. Okay, what you just need to do is that just say specify in percentage of the width. Okay, first let me just maintain aspect ratio. If I remove aspect ratio, that means I want to individually resize it. But if I want to maintain aspect ratio, I will do this in percent. Okay, whatever this is in percent. If I say the width should be 100% in percent, so it will fit in with that. So I will remove the height in percent. Okay, for that I say okay, can you see that's adjusted for the width in percentage? It fills up this entire stuff. If I go to the code view, can you see what I have? The width equals 100%, and I have removed the height. Can you see? If I want to do for the second one too, if I do that within the code view, design view, I'll just right click on it, then I'll go to picture properties. So when I get there, under appearance, so if I want to do that for the width, I'll say in percent, make it 100% to fill the width of the cell. Then I'll remove this because I'm maintaining aspect ratio in percent. Then if I want any alignment, I will do that, but they are not asking us for something like that. Can you see it fills the entire stuff? So if I save, I go to file, I go to preview. Now can you see it has filled the entire stuff? That is the thing. That's the thing. Can you see this is a neat job? It's very simple. So if they ask me that I should put the text in the text that is in this text one, so I could just open up this and copy this. When I open, it's opening in a new tab, so I copy, select all, I come to edit, select all. After selecting all, I come here and say copy, then I come back to design view and I use it to replace this A. I remove A, then I come here and say paste. Can you see it here? So after that, if they want me to make this one maybe heading star 1, I'll make it heading star 1. So if they ask me maybe I should center align it, it's something I can center align here. Okay, if you right click to, maybe you'll be able to do some other let me see, font. You can do small curve, character spacing, bold, and all that. So you can do that. So if you center align, you can center align it. You can see that. But one thing about center align using this menu is that it's going to create an auto style. That might not be what you want or what the question is saying. So that's why I will not do that for now. Let me undo it. So it's like this. So another thing I would like to do is let me save it and preview it in a web browser. Can you see? And I have this. So lastly, let me talk about how to center the table. You can see this table. I want to center align the table. Okay, now let me quickly do that. So to center align the table, let's say just like we have been doing, if you pick the entire table let me right click and let me see table properties. There are several ways by which you can do it. This is if we are doing it within the HTML. We could also do that in the CSS. So if I say table, then you see rows, we see column. Let's look for alignment. We have alignment here. Border, we have done that. Cell padding, cell spacing, height, alignment, default. So if you say center, for example, apply and say okay, can you see that center alignment? So if I go save it and I preview it, I will see it center align. Now the thing here is that maybe they did not ask us to do that in the HTML. They could ask us to do that in the what, in the CSS, but I'm just showing you in case the question say so. This is how you can do this. So we have looked at how to insert table and specify table and cell properties, how to merge, how to add styles to a table, how to merge two or more cells, how to insert images and add alternate text. This is very simple. So just join me in the next video. Make sure you like this video, share it with other people, subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to give you the best explanation